Anthology on the bad, short-lived, and forgotten shows and events in TV history. You are listening to It Was a Thing on TV.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Episode 547, submission 397. Can I say this word, guys?
How about poop?
Oh, no, I'm not 5 years old, Mike. Fuck that.
How about stuff?
Okay, belief, my dad says. That's how it's pronounced according to Truth by Consensus Wikipedia. So let me do this. Belief, my dad says, aired on the CBS television network from September 23rd of 2010 to February 17th of 2011 for 18 episodes.
This lasted 18 episodes?
Yes. Remember when social media in the late 2000s, early 2010s was new and exciting?
Are you implying that social media in 2025 is any better?
No. I'm just saying it was new and exciting. Now it sucks.
It was new. I wouldn't say it was exciting, but your mileage may vary on that.
Any crazy idea you had, you could put it down on bits and bytes, and people would flock to it.
Yes, which is what happened to the writer Justin Halperin, who was a writer for Maxim Magazine's online website. Yeah, remember Maxim Magazine, guys?
They had articles? Am I wrong?
In 2009, Halperin went back to San Diego to live with his girlfriend of 3 years. But when his relationship ended, he moved back to the family home. And so, Halperin had an idea to record some of his father's comments while living with his parents and keep a record of his father's remarks for a future script idea. And that would lead into a Twitter handle called
Stuff.
Yeah, my dad says. To Halperin's surprise, according to Truth by Consensus Wikipedia, the profile gathered a large following when Rob Corddry mentioned the site. It really jump-started it, according to Halperin. And by 2009, the middle of 2009, Halperin had garnered more than 100,000 followers to the account. And by October of 2009, he signed a book deal with HarperCollins and a TV deal with Warner Brothers, which leads us to this show. So, guys, what were your memories of this Twitter handle?
I never visited it.
I just wanted to claim gimmick infringement because it was basically a daily version of my yearly quote wall.
Sure, you believe that. Well, Mike, you get to hear a version of that anyway on this podcast with my dad.
No, I don't think your dad compares to this in any way. And I don't mean that as a bad thing, and I don't mean that as a good thing. I think I'm sort of like out to pasture. I don't have a side in this battle.
Greg, your dad is more crazy than angry.
Of course, he wants to build a moat around Citi Field and have ice skating and synchronized swimming on it.
And he also wants to have Lady Gaga sing the halftime of everything.
Now, he wants a big, extravagant halftime show for every football game. Needless to say, it would probably make the NFL go bankrupt if they listen to my dad. Oh, and he has this really dumb idea for football, okay? If somebody's injured on the field, keep the clock running.
I was hoping he was going to say something like from Madden 94 or 95. put the ambulance on the field, and the ambulance runs over the players.
Do you think my dad knows anything about Madden on Sega Genesis? No.
Well, he probably bought the Genesis for you back in the day, so I'm sure he may have helped set it up, or maybe played a game with you to make you happy because your brother couldn't play or something.
No. The only video game he's ever played is, for some godforsaken reason, Banjo-Tooie on the Nintendo 64.
All right, I think that's a game that has never been mentioned on this podcast till now. Banjo-Kazooie.
No, Banjo-Tooie, the sequel.
Oh, the Banjo-Kazooie franchise, but okay, Banjo-Kazooie 2. I stand corrected.
Everybody's dad has a game that all they do is play on that, and they're experts. For my dad, it was Galaga.
I don't think my dad played any video games. I mean, he does now. I mean, now that he's retired and has all the time in the world, he does different games. But I don't remember him ever playing an arcade game, and I certainly don't remember him playing a video game.
What about pinball?
No, he was never into pinball either.
Oh.
I think the closest I can get to a video game is when we first got our first internet-compatible computer, or internet-connected computer in 1996. The first game I bought was You Don't Know Jack, and Dad actually was curious to try it, and he was disappointed because it was just bland. And then I figured out how to plug in the speakers, and Dad actually enjoyed the game. You Don't Know Jack is nothing without the commentary from Tom Gottlieb.
Yeah, as we've said in the past, it's theater of the mind.
That's how crazy one game is back 30 years ago almost. If you don't have your sound card attached or don't have a speaker attached to it, it's bland, but once you plug it in, oh, it's amazing.
What is the plot of this series? Well, Henry Goodson has to move in with his very opinionated, thrice divorced 72-year-old dad Ed because Henry couldn't afford the rent.
I want to see Rand.
But he could probably afford a ticket to Dogman.
Yeah,
I want to see Dogman.
so the show revolves around Henry being unable to find jobs due to his work as a writer, due to his lack of good material, and also the crazy stuff his dad says. Because it's stuff my dad says.
Well, it's not necessarily about the dad or the kid. It's about the two of them interplaying together.
Yeah. So who do we get to play the dad on this show? Well, there's a reason we're covering this now, because playing the dad on this show is Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner.
TJ Hooker?
I said Captain Kirk, okay?
Oh, so you're just telling me right now I can't say a word about Show Me the Money.
You see, Show Me the Money, that's a show that should have gotten not just 6 seasons and a movie. It should have gotten 50 seasons and 5 movies.
A game show that lasts 50 seasons in a movie. Even
No.
Price is Right. Wait, even
5
Price is
movies.
Right doesn't have a what?
5 movies, I said.
Well, okay, but even Price is Right doesn't have a movie, and you're giving Show Me the Money 5 movies.
The Gong Show had a movie.
And the less we say about that, the better.
Yeah, that's why I said this is going to be the better version of the Gong Show movie.
Best of Your Luck has a movie.
Yeah, it does.
I'll sign autographs for $20.
That's
I'm
a bargain whammy. Of course I'll get your autograph.
You can send it right to my Venmo.
Bizarro used PayPal.
Well, crap then. I'm not getting any money from you for autographs.
Autographs $10.
Now the little bastard's trying to undercut me.
You wanted a description, I'll get you $5.
I'll go $3.
Oh, and by the way, Denny Crane.
Me love the practice.
You're not going below $3?
No. Playing his son, Henry Goodson, is Jonathan Sadowski, who was in 71 episodes of the ABC Family series Young and Hungry, and was in 11 episodes of Sex Life, which is something on Netflix. Playing Ed Goodson's other son, Vince Goodson, Will Sasso.
Curly from the Three Stooges movie. Nothing for the Three Stooges movie?
You know, I forget that happened, the Three Stooges movie.
Oh, I enjoyed that.
I don't even remember who the other two Stooges were.
I think Sean Hayes was one of them.
Sean Hayes was Moe. And, no, I'm sorry. Sean Hayes was Larry. And Chris Diamantopoulos. Oh, good heavens, it's a Greek name. Chris
Chris Diamantopoulos.
Yeah, Chris Diamantopoulos played Moe. Don't worry, I don't know who he is either.
So wait, technically we have talked about it in the 1996 Doctor Who TV movie. So I think this is 2 now.
You're talking about for Chris Diamantopoulos or for...
No, I'm talking about Will Sasso, silly.
Well, we've talked about Will Sasso in the past.
Yeah. I don't remember the other one.
Well, no, we talked about him in his little wrestling gig.
Oh, that's right, we did, because we mentioned the time he talked about when he wrestled Bret Hart on Monday Nitro and Deborah Wilson turned heel on him. This is the funniest moment ever. And WWE, I know you have a WCW YouTube channel. You better get that up soon, okay? As a YouTube short, I don't care. I just want it on the YouTube channel, WCW, in the worst way.
Didn't we also talk about Will Sasso playing Kenny Rogers in different skits on Mad TV?
Yes.
I know we did. Because we did that for an end once.
Yes. Kenny's ice cream parlor. I love that. Kenny's ice cream. I'm Kenny Rogers.
Can we all agree that Sasso is a trip?
Yeah.
He's no Frank Caliendo, though.
Thank God for that.
Hey, I like Frank Caliendo.
Oh, so you're the one.
I'm the one, yes.
Stole my line right there.
I wear that as a badge of honor.
Well, good. You're going to do Frank TV by yourself because I ain't doing that episode. Now, Chico, you watched every episode of this, right?
Yes. I'll tell you right now, it's available somewhere on the internet.
Yes. But I need to mention playing Bonnie Goodson on this show. Now, that, I'm presuming, is Vince Goodson's wife?
Yes.
Okay. Playing Will Sasso's wife on this show is former co-star from Mad TV, Nicole Sullivan.
I'm trying to determine if we should mention her as the Vancombe lady on Mad TV or as Antonia. Sure, you know what? So many different characters. But also, she was on King of Queens quite a bit.
Yes.
There is life after Mad TV.
So we have 2 recurring characters on this show. First, as Tim Bagley, who was in 17 episodes of Will and Grace from 2000 to 2006, and he was in the revival from 2018 to 2020. He was in 32 episodes of Grace and Frankie. Guess what, Mike?
What's that?
He was in a 1996 episode of Wings.
Oh my gosh.
Sons and Lovers.
They were still making Wings in 1996?
It was the last season of Wings, yes. You know I love Wings.
Yeah. I just thought the last season was kind of iffy myself.
No, he wasn't in a last season episode, Greg. It was season 7, episode 13.
It was the next to last season of Wings.
Yes. And it looks like he just played some sort of ancillary background character.
Oh.
Roy's son, RJ, returns to the island to attend his dad's birthday party after a 5-year separation.
It was probably because Roy destroyed Lowell's blimp.
I'm just wondering if Roy, when he rented the place for the birthday, the hall or whatever else, if he eventually showed Crystal Bernard how much it cost to borrow the place, because she wanted to see the rent.
I want to see Rant.
I want to see Rent.
And that was a Tony Shalhoub episode.
Yes. Because it made his career. And the other recurring character as Lawrence is Sam Pancake, who was on the show Search Party as Patrick. But you're not going to believe this, guys. His very first credit. He was a delivery man on Wings.
Okay, hold on. I'm checking to see what episode he was on. Oh, 1990. Oh, that was early.
Early ass Wings.
Second episode. Season 1, episode 2 of all things. Around the World in 80 Years. So this is not an episode with Tony Shalhoub.
No, he was later. How about we get into the series, shall we?
Sure, let's see what stuff this guy has to say.
Yeah, we want to hear the funny stuff that William Shatner has to say. Maybe you'll have something to say about what it was like hosting the 1978 Science Fiction Awards and singing Rocket Man. I'm a Rocket Man. Episode 1, Pilot. Henry gets laid off from his job and decides to see if he could borrow money from his father, Ed. Meanwhile, Ed must work to get his driver's license again because he forgot to renew it. Two other main characters, Vince, Henry's brother, and his wife Bonnie, also visit Ed and Henry from time to time. Yeah, I just said that Wikipedia description.
We have an uncredited name in this episode. Playing a Girl Scout, at least in voice, because I didn't see a Girl Scout in the pilot, but I heard several Girl Scouts, their voices. Yara Shahidi from Blackish and Grownish.
Oh. Now we'll go to episode 2. Why Fight? You see, guys, it's a pun on Wi-Fi, but instead of it just being F-I, it's spelled F-I-G-H-T.
How timely. Something new in 2010.
When Henry wants to get an internet connection hooked up for the house, Ed forbids it, but Henry doesn't give up. Bonnie has a rash on her breasts and asks Ed, who is a doctor, to take a look so he can diagnose it.
I thought this is called Stuff My Dad Says, not Stuff My Dad Saw.
Corky, what do you have to say about William Shatner looking at his daughter-in-law's rash?
You won't believe what happened.
For some reason, I don't think he's looking at a rash.
Dear God.
How big is this rash if he has to examine her breasts? Plural. That's a big rash. Where does the rash end and the areola start?
Episode 3. The Truth About Dads and Moms. After Ed takes Henry out to an early dinner one night, they bump into Tim, who was fired for forging Ed's driver's test. Henry disagrees with Ed on what should be done to fix it. Meanwhile, Bonnie gets an expensive makeup job, and it is determined to make it last to get her money out of it. Also, Vince tells Henry of what really happened when they were younger. This is the top-rated episode according to IMDb of this series, by the way. So it must be a good one. It's rated 7.3 out of 10.
That doesn't sound like much of a high watermark, because I'm sure if I look on IMDb about series that we've covered in the past, I'm sure some series averages a 7.3.
Episode 4, Code Ed. You get it? Because his name is Ed William Shatner's character. At the coffee shop, Henry manages to pluck up the courage to ask the attractive cashier out on a date. The condition is that it is a double date with her aunt and Ed.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine the stuff he's going to say around this cashier's aunt?
Hey, I've seen my daughter-in-law's breasts.
Oh.
Check, please. Date's over.
Oh, you're not going to believe who's playing the, I presume, the mom in this episode. Stephanie Forsey is playing the mom.
From True Colors on Fox.
Well, I remember her more for The Great Outdoors. Oh, wait a minute. If we ever cover it for a future pilot month, we have to talk about Goldie and the Bears, starring her. And I'm not going to say, if I say his name, he's going to, I don't know if I should say his name.
Then don't.
Hulk Hogan.
Boo!
Boo! Thank
Boo
God
this man!
Oh, thank God he's not here. I would have been so upset if he was here, man. Oh,
I'm sorry, I was a little late.
oh boo!
Boo!
Did I hear you're talking about Goldie and the Bears?
Boo this man!
That didn't answer my question. Did I hear you talking about Goldie and the Bears?
No. We never said anything about Goldie and the Bears.
All right, then we'll go back and sell some real American beer.
It's crap like the custom title belt you gave Jeff Hardy in TNA. I don't know if he heard... Oh, thank God he didn't hear that. Good. Okay.
Did you say something? I thought I heard something while I was leaving.
No, I didn't say anything, Hulkster. Just, you can walk out now. You can just...
Go get my beer.
Sure.
Hey, talking about Stephanie Faracy, just take a look at her IMDb. We talked about that person, Sam Pancake, who was on he was on the first season episode of Wings. The person who was on the second to last season of Wings, well, guess what? Stephanie Faracy was on a final season episode of Wings.
Oh, that's great. 3 mentions of Wings this episode.
Season 8, episode 4, Single and Hating It.
Episode 5, Not Without My Jacket. Ed gets upset when Henry uses his coffee mug without permission, explaining that it is his rule that someone must clear it with him before borrowing something, and he never breaks his rules. However, Ed must go to great lengths to retrieve a jacket of Henry's that he accidentally lent out without asking to avoid looking like a hypocrite. And I should note, this is the second top-rated episode of the show according to IMDb.
Okay, I need to see, let's just say Sledgehammer. Did Sledgehammer, over the course of its run, average higher than a 7.3 or a 7.2? Yes, it says 8.1. So that 7.3 is not a high bar.
Well, it's a high bar to me, damn it. Playing the role of Shelley in this episode is Paula Kale, who was on Providence as Joni Hansen for 94 episodes between 1999 and 2002. And now we'll go to episode 6. Easy Writer. Spelled W-R-I-T-E-R. What do you think that's a reference to, Mike?
Oh, I think it's a reference to a certain movie. Easy Rider?
That's the joke, Mike. That's what
I know, but you asked me and I answered.
Hey. Henry writes an article about Ed, but Ed is embarrassed by it. Yeah, I'd be embarrassed too if this guy was writing all the crap that I would say on frickin' Twitter. Bonnie and Vince become friends with an important couple in the San Diego real estate scene. Episode 7, Dog Ed Pursuit. Ed finds himself attached to Root Beer, Vincent Bonnie's dog.
When I heard you say that he becomes friends with Root Beer, I was thinking, hey, this guy really must like A&W or Mug or Barks. And then you say Root Beer's a dog, and, well, obviously he likes a different type of Barks. Ruff, ruff.
Meanwhile, Henry has very rough sex with Vincent Bonnie's supervisor as Bonnie tells Ed to do the same human canine attachment to Vince.
No. Stop.
Like Katie Palmer, Missy Pyle.
Oh.
She was in darn near everything, though. She was in Charlie the Chocolate Factory, Galaxy Quest, The Sex Lives of College Girls.
Oh, wait, she was in Dodgeball, right?
I think she was.
Episode 8, The Manly Thing to Do. An old Navy buddy of Ed's comes to visit, but his bad attitude about homosexuals and Ed's passivity towards it drives him away. Henry has an awkward moment with Bonnie that Vince only makes even more awkward.
IMDb can clarify that awkward moment. Henry accidentally sees Bonnie naked.
James Burrows directed the pilot of Stuff My Dad Says, which, okay, Mike, say something about the Choose Rittenhouse set.
I enjoy it. I bought a case of it. Well, you heard the live show last week. I got a case of it sitting in my closet.
Yes.
I moved it from Benoodle's cat condo to a much safer place that a 10-pound, 15-year-old cat won't potentially damage it.
Directing this episode, Michael McDonald. No, not that Mike.
Not this Mike McDonald!
No, the one from Mad TV who played Stewart. But could you imagine that Michael McDonald directing an episode?
No, I really couldn't. We do have a huge name in this episode playing that Navy buddy, Lieutenant Colonel Wally Durham. John Mahoney from Frasier.
Yes.
Martin Crane, yeah.
Episode 9, Make a Wish.
Oh, no. I'm afraid, just based on the title.
Ed and Henry are watching TV when an infomercial comes on for a Wish self-help guru named Charlotte Ann Robinson. Ed asks who would fall for that kind of scam when Vince and Bonnie walk in saying that they have quit their real estate jobs to start a real estate business because they wished for it. Playing the self-help guru, the one, the only, Sybil Shepherd.
This episode has a totally different meaning in 2025. Wish in 2025? Something a little different than what this episode refers to.
Oh yeah, when you make a wish, you're buying like really crappy ass products on the internet. Episode 10, You Can't Handle the Truce. Henry tries to broker a truce between Ed and his neighbor of 25 years. Meanwhile, Vince and Bonnie have trouble adopting a dog, so Ed finds a solution. I don't want to know what William Shatner's solution is.
If this is the neighbor, oh my gosh. I could see the feud being epic. Chico, I'll let you have the honors.
Charlie Robinson from Night Court. And that one episode of How I Met Your Mother where Bryan Cranston designs a very particular building.
That's a penis.
That would be the building.
Maybe we'll do that for Bryan Cranston's 70th birthday. The How I Met Your Mother episode where Charles Robinson said, "That's a penis."
That's a penis.
One more name really quick. Playing Bob in this episode is Michael Bunnan. He was on 28 episodes of Superstore as Jeff.
Yes. You remember Jeff, right, Chico?
I don't remember Jeff.
Yeah. Worst boss ever. Episode 11, Family Dinner for Schmucks. Bonnie tries to start a family tradition. Henry gets in trouble for taking the blame for a friend's mistake. Ed makes a friend at the hospital with his personality.
You mean there's more than one of him in the world?
Episode 12, Goodson Goes Deep. Ed wants baseball memorabilia that was promised to him, but then sold to someone else. Bonnie and Vince move into the garage so they can try to get pregnant with less distraction. I got a question. What kind of baseball memorabilia would William Shatner be after?
Not joking. A couple of months ago, there was an auction about an hour south of here, and William Shatner was there. It was auctioning off William Shatner's memorabilia and personal possessions. And among the things that were auctioned off were definitely a couple of jerseys, baseball and hockey jerseys, that were custom made for him. So maybe something like that. I don't know. But also, has it ever been mentioned where this show takes place? Is it L.A. or New York or someplace?
San Diego.
San Diego. So it'd probably be some Padres merch.
Oh, it would definitely be Tony Gwynn stuff and
Well,
I'm sure there's.
Ted Williams was a native of San Diego.
And I think he coached the Padres for a while, if I'm not mistaken. But still, Tony Gwynn, Fernando Tatis, and that one season that Juan Soto was there.
Or like a season and a half Juan Soto was there before he got traded to the Yankees.
And Trevor Hoffman was there for a while, but I'm sort of tapped out as to who they could actually have memorabilia of besides those folks.
Oh, wait, Phil Nevin.
Phil Nevin, oh my gosh.
Don't you insult Phil Nevin, man.
I'm not insulting Phil Nevin, I'm just saying, oh my gosh.
Oh, Greg Vaughn.
Greg Vaughn's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
What about Jake Peavy? He won a Cy Young there.
Randy Jones won a Cy Young in the 70s for the Padres.
And Randy Jones, at least as far as I know, still has a barbecue there. And actually is there like every game. He's sort of like the Boog Powell in Baltimore, where he has his own place and he's there like 90% of the time.
Playing Carl in this episode, Booger himself, Curtis Armstrong.
I just want to point this out. Curtis Armstrong, he plays Booger in Revenge of the Nerds. On American Dad, he voices Not.
Yeah.
No coincidence there.
Whenever I think of American Dad and I think of Snot, I think of the episode where Steve and all of them start a boy band.
Yes! I think we've talked about that in the past as well.
Yeah, and they merge with 3 other boy bands to form Boys 12.
One more name I want to mention. But before that, Michael Bunnan is in this episode as Bob. But Greg, you're not going to believe it. Playing Root Beer this episode is Root Beer.
Oh, the dog, yeah.
The dog's real name was Root Beer.
That's the dog's real name.
Is that the ghost of Bill Armstrong?
No. It was the ghost of Davy Boy Smith.
Oh, jeez. I thought the ghost of Bill Armstrong was going to open up the cold case about how Root Beer the dog died. I'm sorry. Did Root Beer the dog die in Vancouver?
Why the fuck would I want to mention a dead dog, you son of a bitch? Episode 13, The Better Father. When Bonnie and Vince find out the Reverend who married them was a fake, they decide to throw another wedding. Bonnie invites her father, Terry, who failed to show up at her last wedding because of a gambling problem. When he says he has changed his life, Ed finds him gambling away the money for food for the wedding. Meanwhile, Vince is having problems finding a tuxedo for his wedding. Then when Ed helps Bonnie's father win the money back, Bonnie's father finds another gambling chip and fails to show up at his daughter's wedding again. The episode ends with Ed walking Bonnie down the aisle. playing Bonnie's degenerate gambler father. It was a thing on TV. Hall of Famer Ed Begley Jr.
He a bad man.
Well, he is the Zodiac Killer.
This is 7.5 years before he played the Zodiac Killer?
He was gambling at the tables, I bet. He was probably playing craps, blackjack.
IGOW. Free card.
Maybe a little Keno.
You like your Keno.
Yes.
Keno is a game that you play when you really don't care about money.
Yeah.
No, any gambling game is a game that you play when you don't care about money. I said it. That's my math teacher stance. I know the probabilities. We do have a name directing this episode, and this is a person we've talked about plenty. Peter Bonners from The Bob Newhart Show.
Yeah. He directs this in the next episode, which is coming up right now.
Wait. One more name. Mortimer Fu is played by Clyde Kusatsu.
And we've talked about him plenty.
Episode 14, also directed by Peter Bonners. Cornstar. When the height of Ed...
No! Cornstar? No!
Yeah, it's spelled C-O-R-N, Mike. It's not that...
I know that, but no. Okay, I'll give it a chance, but I don't have my hopes set high for this.
You sound like you're in pain, Mike.
Just read the synopsis.
When the height of Ed's cornstalks becomes an issue with the Homeowners Association, he decides to fix the problem by running for president of the association.
First off, what HOA allows corn stalks to be grown? And this is San Diego? I don't think they grow corn in San Diego. Oh, but also it says here on IMDb, Vince is torn when he gets propositioned by his secret celebrity crush.
Oh, who's his secret celebrity crush?
Sadly, it doesn't say.
Oh. But, oh, we do have a name in this episode. Oh, we have two names in this episode.
Playing Soledad Show, Rachel Harris.
Yes. Formerly The Daily Show.
Wasn't she also one of those talking heads that was on, like, I Love the 80s, I Love the 90s?
Yes! Playing Rosemary Pernworth. And we talked about her recently, guys. The legendary Jean Smart.
14 years before she played the pyramid with a monkey.
Wait, what?
You remember that SNL season premiere when she hosted and they did the pyramid parody where she played that woman from that Max series about the chimp?
Oh.
Yeah. Episode 15. Well, Ed is going to court now. And guess what, guys? Ed won the presidency of the Homeowners Association. So as the newly elected head of the Homeowners Association, Ed is more concerned with pursuing his neighbor, Rosemary Pernworth, than passing any legislation. Oh, so now Ed is stalking Jean Smart? This isn't going to end well. Look what happened to Gregory Itzin on 24 when he tried to do that with Jean Smart.
Look what happened to Greg Itzin when he screwed around with that big guy on Feud. Broke his friggin' knee.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just looked at who the guest star was on this episode.
Yeah, the most 2010s thing to ever come out of 2010.
Oh, God.
Seriously, has this person done anything, just one thing of note in the last 10 years? No. Thank you. Tila Tequila is on this episode as Ting Ting. Good heavens, I feel like I need some antibiotics just saying that name. But hey, directing this episode, Ted Wass from Soap.
And Blossom. Whoa.
Whoa!
Oh.
Whoa.
Episode 16, Well Suited. As reluctant to go exclusive in his relationship with Rosemary, so he finds himself with competition for her heart. Vince and Bonnie's old boss drops by with a very peculiar present. Gee, I wonder what that present is, guys.
Again, IMDb to the rescue. It says here, Bonnie and Vince's former boss tries to make amends with an egg-centric gift.
Oh, so he's going to offer the gobbledygooker to Will Sasso and Nicole Sullivan?
I was thinking of a Fabergé egg or an actual egg from like a donor center, but yeah, let's do your thing.
Oh, egg from a donor center is way too deep, I think. And a Fabergé egg would be really expensive.
Well, he is a millionaire.
Hey, given it's 2025, how about we just say a dozen eggs? I mean, that's what, $7,500 nowadays? Good heavens, do we have names on this episode? We talked about Gene Smart earlier, but playing Don Rieger in this episode, I'm guessing he's the millionaire that we're talking about. Lee Majors, the $6 Million Man.
And Mike, he has a card in Americana.
Yes, he does.
And I have a swatch card of his from Americana.
But also another name, playing Jimmy in this episode, Cedric Yarborough from OG Reno 911. And also does a voice on Crapopolis, the Mr. Black of cartoons around this podcast.
Episode 17, Lock and Load. Rosemary doesn't like the idea of Ed keeping a gun in the house, even though a robber has been breaking into people's houses. Vince watches porn. Vince watches porn to see how Vince and Bonnie can have a baby right. Rosemary accidentally shoots Vince when she thinks it's actually someone else in the house. Oh no, Gene Smart has shot Will Sasso. I bet it wasn't as bad as those chair shots he got from Deborah Wilson on Nitro.
Oh no.
Oh, we have a name playing Nancy in this episode, Laura Keitlinger.
Laura Keitlinger was on a season of SNL, season 20, 1994 and 1995. That really wasn't a good season, was it, guys?
We don't talk about that season.
You sure about that, Chico?
Okay, we might talk about that season.
Thank you. And now the final episode. Who's your daddy? Clap, 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 clap. Who's your daddy? Clap, 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 clap. I guarantee you, this is not Pedro Martinez's favorite episode from this series. Hashtag jokes that would have been funny in 2003. After meeting Henry's new girlfriend, Ed realizes he has a strange connection with her. What kind of connection is that? Let me look at IMDb here. Ed's status changes to confused when he meets Henry's new Facebook girlfriend and senses a strange connection to her. Also, Bonnie and Vince join a reality television series when they help a reality star go house hunting.
The girlfriend is Laura Griffin. She is played by Ricky Lindholm.
From Garfunkel and Oates. Oh, playing Freddy in this episode. Now, this is someone we've talked about many times in the past. The great Joel Brooks.
Decent Pyramid player, but also was on My Sister Sam.
Yep. That's the series. Now, you'd think that because this was based on a Twitter account that was very popular back in the day, that everyone would be all over this. According to Wikipedia, it drew 12.58 million viewers. And then the next week, it dropped to 10.43 million. And then it dropped down to 9.77. And it really just hovered around like 9 to 10 for the rest of the series. So, Mike, you have the lineup it was on.
Yeah, it was on Thursday nights. Everything else in this lineup is absolutely amazing. This is the 1 weak link, though. It aired at 8:30 p.m. on Thursday nights, as I said. Airing just before Stuff My Dad Says on Thursday nights was The Big Bang Theory. After it was CSI, and then The Mentalist. And according to Wiki, The Big Bang Theory was the number 14 show for the season. CSI was the number 12 show for the season. The Mentalist was the number 8 show for the season. And Stuff My Dad Says did not compare to any of those. Going up against Stuff My Dad Says was the second half hour of Grey's Anatomy on ABC, was also the second half hour of Wipeout. On the CW, it was up against the second half hour of The Vampire Diaries. On Fox, it was up against the second half hour of Bones, not good. $1 Million Money Drop, good heavens. And on NBC, you're not beating 30 Rock.
As good as William Shatner is, you're not beating Tina Fey, Tracy Morgan, and Alec Baldwin.
You're also not beating Emily Deschanel on Bones. And I don't know if you're necessarily beating John Henson on Wipeout either. Wipeout was big in that time.
And then later, it got revived by Nicole Byer and a man who, until now, we just thought was invisible, and now he just turned on Cody Rhodes. Because Cody wouldn't sell his soul to the man who couldn't afford decent turf at Cashman Field, as I said last week.
And now it made the upcoming WrestleMania that much more entertaining. Well, that's what you said. You said it was going to be like the most anticipated match ever since WrestleMania 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I shouldn't say his name now again, too. So, I don't want that to happen twice. So, it's not going to happen again. Good. He's not coming back, right? You didn't hear me?
You guys referring to me?
No, we didn't refer to you, Hulkster.
All right, I'm going to go back and pitch some beers at some supermarket in, like, Long Island.
Oh. Please leave early, Hulkster, please. So you can get to your next gig super early. Which supposedly actually happened. No, I'm dead serious.
No, I read about that.
Yeah.
He bailed out after, like, I don't know if it was like an hour or 30 minutes, but I read accounts of people who were waiting in line for like 2 to 3 hours, and they were like 15, 20 people ahead of them. And what's his name? Don't want to invoke his name. Wrestling Voldemort. That's what we'll call him. Wrestling Voldemort. He just up and left and kept people high and dry. And I think, just coincidentally, I think that was actually in Long Island.
Yeah, somewhere around there or in the city. Well, it takes a lot to replace Chris Benoit as the Wrestling Voldemort, am I right?
Why did you mention Chris Benoit? I even get the reference. I'm not a wrestling fan. That's just bad taste.
Look, I could have brought up the guy who stabbed Bruiser Brody, but I didn't.
You could have made Wrestling Voldemort Herb Abrams, for heaven's sakes.
No, but we love Herb Abrams.
Okay, I understand not liking Chris Benoit, but no, that's bad.
This show received negative reviews. It got a 28 out of 100 rating on Metacritic. And do you want to know what its rating is on Rotten Tomatoes?
15%.
Chico?
20%.
0%.
Oh, jeez!
That's terrible.
I almost said that as a joke. 0%.
But guys, this won an award for Favorite New TV Comedy at the People's Choice Awards in 2011.
What network was the People's Choice Awards on that time?
Oh, CBS.
There
Oh,
you
that-
go.
Hold on, I need to see what it went up against. There had to be some better nominees. Okay, seriously, guys, I got the other nominees here. How the heck did this show win? Something called Better With You, which had the biggest name I see is Deborah Jo Rupp, but that looks like it's as a supporting character. Outsourced, I remember that. With Diedrich Bader. Oh, Diedrich Bader, who actually signed cards in Cheers Rittenhouse. First time we've mentioned it, and next week we're going to mention the second person. Raising Hope. Oh, that's the one with Cloris Leachman that was on Fox. Cloris Leachman with the Blood of Steel or whatever was said on Gilbert Gottfried's podcast. Correct me, Greg. I know you're going to.
Okay, so this was in the time travel minisode with Richard Kind. So according to Richard Kind, okay, this is Richard Kind saying this. So don't give me anything, okay? I'm just repeating what he said. But supposedly, Cloris Leachman was the best F in Hollywood.
So under the real show that had longevity out of these 5 shows, well, Raising Hope ran for a little while, but Outsourced, Better With You, and Stuff My Dad Says had a season, it seems. How did Stuff My Dad Says beat Mike and Molly? In retrospect, yeah, Mike and Molly was definitely the better show, but did it maybe get off to a bad start in 2010? Well, yeah, Greg shrugged his shoulders, and I'm doing the same. Who knows?
But at least America eventually fell in love with Melissa McCarthy.
And Billy Gardell.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the absurdly obese, funny guy. That's the reason I'm on this podcast.
I thought that was the reason why I'm on this podcast.
I knew you were going to say that, and I don't disagree with you.
I should note that, yeah, the title of the show is based on a Twitter account that has the word S in, the real word for S. You know what I mean, right?
Does that word rhyme with the first name of baseball player Merrifield?
Yeah.
Okay, I know what word you're talking about.
Okay. CBS announced that the expletive would not be used in promos. But you know who had a problem with this?
What conservative group?
The Parents Television Council.
How did I know?
William Shatner at the 2010 Television Critics Association press tour said about the PTC getting all up in their ass about it. The word shit is around us. It isn't a terrible term. It's a natural function. Why are we pussyfooting?
This is a side of Shatner I've never heard.
Yeah. Now you see why he got the role. This would not be the last show involving something from Justin Halperin, because Fox made a sitcom revolving around a book he wrote called Surviving Jack. But that's another story for another day. But as for Stuff My Dad Says, Henry's dad sure had a lot of stuff to say. But in the end, his dad just became a thing on TV. By the way, happy birthday, William Shatner. That's why we're covering it.
94.
Yep.
You can find us at our website, itwasathingontv.com, on Facebook at It Was a Thing on TV Podcast, and elsewhere at It Was a Thing on TV. You can find us on any podcast player, and we're also on YouTube, where you can subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our releases, including what's coming up next time.
In case you didn't read our socials, we had a little issue that happened for the first time in almost 5.5 years. We thought we recorded an episode, but we didn't. That may be the reason why Skype is dying very slowly and will be dead in 2 months. Regardless, we're going to have an episode coming next Thursday. We're going back to a one show per week basis for a little while, a couple weeks, I think. And we're going to cover a show which was a mid-season replacement in 1988. It did not last all that long. What happens when a recent law school graduate opens up his own practice in a mall? And his dad helps out? Surely hilarity's going to ensue, but also surely this is going to be the role before a certain someone hits it big on a different series. We'll talk about that next Thursday right here at It Was the Thing on TV. Thank you so much for listening. Please have yourself a good week leading up to that next episode next Thursday.
Wow!
She packed my bags last night, pre-flight. 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high. As a kite by then. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, no, no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning out his fuse out here, alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rock-it man. Rocket man, burning out his fuse.